You're listening to the Late Night Football Show with your host, Rohit Singh. That's me. On this show, we talk about some of the most seriously silly topics from the world of football for your entertainment and enjoyment. Please remember that the show is BYOL. Bring your own laughs, since we don't have the budget for a studio audience. Happy listening. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Football. This is our Matchday 5 preview show. We've had the unreasonable and frankly pointless international break. So we're all out of that, we're done, and we can now look forward to some real football. Apologies to anyone who's a fan of international football, but we're back with club football, the one that we actually care about. So we're going to preview some of the games. It's actually a very interesting weekend of action because not only are there some big games coming up this weekend, but there's also the Champions League starting next week. So that will have some impact as well on the squads, on how the teams shape up. So it's really exciting. So we're going to get into it. And yes, as you can see, I got my hair now, so I don't have to worry about all the issues that I was having in the past video. So yes, that's, if you guys can see it. So yeah, definitely. And also great news for us. We've actually hit 100 subscribers this week. And if you follow us, yes, thanks, Knayha. If you follow us on social media, you would have seen that post up today. We did cross 100 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to our channel on YouTube. Really, really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? You know, this thing will go viral soon, so you want to be on the bandwagon. So make sure you subscribe as well, for sure. All right, so let's get started. We've got a nice cast of guests, but returning back to the show, Arsenal fan Shashwat Mukherjee. Shashwat, welcome back to the show again.
Yeah, thanks, Rohit. Thanks for having me on the show again.
It was our pleasure for sure. And we've got two debutants today as well. We've got Knayha Monga, a Manchester United fan, who's here joining us. Welcome, Knayha, to the show.
Thanks, Rohit. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and we also have Nayan, who's also a Manchester United fan, who I thought was a Chelsea fan. But Nayan, welcome to the show as well.
Thanks, Rohit. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
that's a hard switch. That's a hard switch between thinking of Chelsea and then.
Well, but it's good. But it is good that we have three United fans in a way, because we're going to need all the
surname would have been confusing. The surname would definitely have been confusing.
Yes.
Well, yes, that is true. Yes. For those, if you don't understand or if you don't know Hindi, then you don't know. But if you know, you know. But yes, for sure. I think it's good that we have three United fans. I think it's very therapeutic because we need that based on what's coming up. But let's get started. Let's talk about the first game of the weekend. We're going to talk about Everton against Liverpool, the Merseyside Derby. And it's actually an interesting one because normally, these are very one-sided. You generally pick Liverpool as the favorites. You kind of know what's going to happen. But this one is very interesting because it's Everton are top of the league. Whatever that means. And Liverpool are just coming off of a really bad defeat, 7-2.
Who would have thought?
Yes, for sure.
5 game weeks down, and game week 5 they go in and they're like, who's on top of the league? It's Everton. What?
Yeah. Well, it is a Liverpool. It's a team from Liverpool, but it's not Liverpool. A Merseyside team, for sure. So
the weekend that Liverpool lost, I was actually devastated with the defeat of United. And I had simply switched off after 40-45 minutes. And then later on, I keep on getting notifications, 1 goal, 2 goals. I thought, okay, here's something in store for us as well. So, having seen Liverpool lose so badly was kind of
therapeutic.
It was therapeutic. That could have been applied on the wound.
Yeah, well, it was therapeutic. And also I was thinking that, normally we would be doing, when I was doing the show, I said that, I'm watching, we're going to rant about United, but then, you see Liverpool and you're smiling, even though, you just had a bad defeat. So I don't know what it was. But there are issues. All jokes aside, there are issues for Liverpool beyond the playing 11. And we know Thiago and Mane had COVID. Thankfully, they've recovered and they're probably trained a bit. But Nayan, speaking of that, do you think they need to start this game? Because they seem to be missing something when those guys don't start. Do you think fitness issues aside, if they're fit enough, do you think they should start?
They will have to start. They should start. If Liverpool stand any chance of defeating Everton in this particular game, Mane has to start. Thiago, even if he comes off the bench, that might be fine, but Mane has to start because the main reason is the front three, the depth of Liverpool's attacking prowess or the attacking third is non-existent. Because if we want to see beyond these three guys, Firmino, Salah and Mane, we don't have anybody.
Well, they do have Jota,
So,
who seems okay.
No, but
yeah, still the team chemistry has to be built up between these guys.
Yeah,
So
no, for
it
sure. I
might take
understand what
some
you're
time.
saying. Yeah. Yeah.
in some views, not having Mane for that game led to that 7-2. Because
Yeah.
if they had Mane
True.
on the left flank, if you see where they were attacking, if you remember the West Ham game, it was Grealish was stuck on the right side.
Do you mean Villa?
Yeah, the Villa game, yeah. And then on the 7-2 when they lost, it
Yeah.
was Grealish was stuck on the left side. Jota was trying to play up front, but then that didn't work. And they really did miss Mane because Mane gives them that skill, that confidence that if he has the ball on his feet, he will do something. So they have that confidence, and you could see, just after the first two goals went in, you could see that they were lost. They were like, what's happening? How are they scoring? Like, how is Watkins scoring goals against us? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And
Well,
And one more problem. I mean, apart from the Mane and Thiago, they need to buy. I mean, in the next transfer window, they need to buy a centre back because they need someone who can partner the burden with Virgil van Dijk. If
Yeah.
you see the numbers last season, apart from the goalkeepers, the only people who have played all the entire 38 matches and the entire 90 minutes is Harry Maguire and Virgil van Dijk. And right now, both of these defenders are in the news for the errors that are leading to goals or whatnot, for
amazing
all the reasons.
reasons.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good segue on defenders, so Shashwat. Would you start Joe Gomez or would you start Fabinho? Because Fabinho, if you start Fabinho, then that allows you to maybe add an extra midfielder because Everton will press, and Thiago's quality is of being able to be press resistant while passing. So would you put Fabinho at centre half, or do you think that's just an accident waiting to happen?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think I will. If I'm Jurgen Klopp, I means if I as a Liverpool means I have whatever I have watched, Jurgen Klopp won't mind going with Fabinho for this game because as you saw against Chelsea, he tried with Fabinho as centre back. So I think he might go with, and Joe Gomez was struggling against Villa. Means he had a very off game against
He
Yeah.
was
Aston Villa.
playing.
So,
I couldn't feel he was defending at
yeah,
all.
yeah. Means he was in all means he was in deep trouble. Means some of the goals they were scoring for funds that Aston Villa were scoring. So and Thiago Alcantara is one of the best midfielders in the world at the moment. So I think it will be a good move. It will be a good move if Klopp plays Fabinho as a centre back along with Virgil van Dijk and play Thiago Alcantara. And as you say, Mane is also very vital for this Liverpool team. Means, if you see the means last title winning team, even if one or two players drop off this team, this Liverpool team looks slightly off. So that
Correct.
title winning team is just another class team. So in
Yep.
my opinion,
Yeah.
Fabinho, I'm a Liverpool fan. If I was a Liverpool fan, I will start with I hope Klopp started with Fabinho.
Currently, I think Liverpool supporters won't want to be the Liverpool supporters after 7-2.
Well, I don't know about that. I think they'll take the titles, and I think
Yeah,
no, but I think but
they'll.
that's yeah, no, but
But
that's
then
One
I,
more
it,
big
it,
issue for tomorrow's game would be the role. I mean, would be both the keepers on either side of the pitch, because we have even seen Pickford. Although Everton have won 4 games, but the goals that they have conceded, most of the goals, ideally they should not have conceded. They were soft goals. They were silly goals.
yeah,
I especially remember the game against Brighton where they won 4-2. Both the goals could have been avoided. He should have been a bit more physical. He should have been a bit more vocal.
yeah. No, for sure. I
And
think
the same goes
Pickford's
with Adrian as well.
having yeah,
yeah, and I think the important point, Rohit, here as well is like I think Liverpool is without Keita this game.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Keita is not playing, so now that is going to really mix things up. He cannot afford to not play Thiago now.
Yeah, well, they still have the Player of the Year, Henderson. Actually, I keep making that joke, but they still
Yeah,
have that.
but then they need that because how Liverpool have played all this in the last season, what we have seen, they have had that creativity in the midfield, like one pass, that one, like they used Milner for it, for God's sake. And Henderson was their creative player. Like he would just give long balls, and Salah would run, Mane would run, Firmino would be in the center and do something, and then they score a goal. But without Keita, they are now heavily dependent on Thiago. But the problem is, who will kind of track back? Who stays back? Does Henderson go ahead or not? And on Gomez and Firmino, it's a no-brainer. Klopp has to make a statement. 7-2. They are the Premier League champions. 7-2.
One more thing. Both the games happened on the same day. But I might be wrong, but United getting hammered 6-1 was somehow bigger than Liverpool getting hammered 7-2 by Aston Villa.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is mitigating factors to that, right? I mean, Liverpool are a much more settled side, and the fact is, I think there were 3 deflected goals as well. So you have to take everything into consideration. But on the goalkeeper's note, and I think I believe Adrian will start because Alisson is not fit. So, but Everton, and there is a second team that Everton probably have a choice here. Do you go with Pickford, Knayha, or do you go with their new goalkeeper, Robin Olsen? I don't know how good he is. I've never seen him play. Robin Olsen, they bought him in the transfer deadline day, because he made an error for England as well in the last game. So, would you just want to take him out of the firing line?
I don't think currently Ancelotti will take that risk. He's basically saying, let's not change the squad.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep. He has if you've seen what Ancelotti has done in Italy, how he plays, his playing style, he hardly changes his team.
Yeah.
He sticks to them and he just goes with it. He's like, the idea is he doesn't have to worry. He's saying, I don't have to worry what happens at the back till DCL or Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison and James Rodriguez are scoring the goals. If they're getting me 5 goals in a game, and if Pickford makes 2 mistakes, I can live with it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But I think he'll also look at Olsen as an option if the confidence of Pickford affects the defenders, because currently the defenders are not getting affected. Everton defenders are.
Mina won't be playing tomorrow.
Oh, yes, Mina will be another miss then. So I think he will stick to Pickford currently. And it's just about trusting him, and if he gets an injury, because he's playing a lot of international games as well, Pickford. So if Pickford is playing so many international games, and if he gets an injury, he has a backup in also. That's what I feel.
Well, maybe we shall see how that goes. Nayan, what do you think is going to be the key battle tomorrow? Do you think the key matchup that we have to look out for?
The key battle will be how these guys, how the Liverpool guys, maybe the midfield or the defense, try and figure out to control Rodriguez, because Rodriguez is the key. He has been involved in goals as well as he has provided assists. So the key battle would be Liverpool's defense versus James Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that makes a lot of sense, and maybe Van Dijk and Fabinho if he starts. I think that would be
not exactly Van Dijk, but probably Henderson might have a role to play.
Yeah, the full
Henderson would have to mark him.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how they cope, and they might even decide to man mark. Yeah.
What is also interesting is how Everton changed their tactics when Richarlison got injured the last game when he went off. We did not see James going back. He went in. He scored 2 goals. He was like at the back post sitting and waiting for a beautiful tap in. Yeah. And I was like, wow. They have that. So they're not using James only as a creator. They're using him as a goal scorer as well. So that's what I like about Ancelotti, playing different actions, different styles, kind of keep it guessing. Put an aggressive front in front. They have DCL. He's like a poacher right now. He's like on a different level. He's scoring goals just for fun, and suddenly they are a team, hard to beat because they're scoring so many goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting. I think that'll be interesting. It's the first game, so it'll be early morning for me. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it, but no, probably will watch it. But it'll be interesting. Shashwat, what's your score prediction? What do you think is going to be the score tomorrow?
Uh, this will be the closest Merseyside derby in recent times. I think because Everton are in brilliant form, and Liverpool will try to make a statement after that big loss. So I think it will be a high scoring game. That is, I think
Agreed.
Everton,
Agreed.
Everton 2 and Liverpool 3.
Oh,
I will just give it to Liverpool
that's
for
good.
this one.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
Knayha, what do you think? What's going to be your prediction?
I think there is. I wouldn't put a. I would say there are going to be a lot of goals.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
Okay. Oh,
a lot
okay.
of goals.
So
It
you
will
got
be.
to you got to give us a prediction. That's
I
your
would
prediction.
let's just be as crazy as this EPL season is going. Let's say Salah will score a hat trick,
Okay.
and we'll have a 3-1. DCL will score one goal. So
Okay.
3-1.
Liverpool 3-1. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nan, what do you think?
3-2 Everton.
Okay, well, that's great. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we've got one Everton win, we've got two Liverpool people. I think Liverpool should win this. I just feel that they will have a reaction to that game that they had, the 7-2, and I think Everton, it's one of those things where I think the step up will be a bit high. So I think it will be, I feel it will be 2-1 to Liverpool. That's what I think it will be 2-1. But it could be 3-1, 4-1. It depends on what happens with when Everton
Yeah.
go behind, what their reaction is going to be. So
Yeah.
we
It's
shall
2020. You cannot predict anything.
yeah, no, you
Yeah.
can't. But I'm sure we're trying. We're trying. I don't know if you've got any right. I think we might have got one or two right on this show so far. But anyway, but that's that game. Everton against Liverpool, very exciting. Merseyside Derby, and one to watch out for. We'll move on to the next one, which is Chelsea against Southampton. Fairly, before the West Brom game, I would say this was very straightforward. But Chelsea have a habit of throwing curveballs as they come along. Let's start with you, Knayha. This is, I think, it's a bit interesting, but Havertz, Ziyech, Werner, and Pulisic are all available. I think this is the first time all four of them are now available. Do you think Chelsea, Frank would start all four of them, or do you think that he would rest maybe one or two?
I think he should just start all of them immediately. I think that's what everybody's waiting for. Like since the start of the Premier League, Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic together. It just gives you goosebumps when you listen to those four names and they're like the amount of goals or possibly creativity that they'll have on the pitch. But then sadly we've not been able to see them. Will think that this is because Champions League starts as well this month. So he has to give them game time together because if he wants them to score in big matches.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a big match coming next week, so yeah, definitely get
Correct.
them.
So he will have to start them, and he will have to just see because the best thing right now is that there are no fans, so you don't get intimidated by that 12th man sitting behind the goal if you miss the shot.
Yeah.
Which gives them, which it kind of makes it like a training session kind of matches where that's why we're seeing so many high scoring goals. People are not like, okay, let's find we're done with goals now, let's chill. No, we're seeing high scoring goals, high scoring matches, and that's why I think he has to start all four.
Yeah. Well, there are injury issues for Chelsea though. I think N'Golo Kante is again out. Mendy is not available as well, so Kepa will start, which might give Southampton a bit of hope.
That's what he was thinking, basically, possibly sitting on last game. Like he's gonna get injured.
Yeah, for sure. But Nayan, the one player that I think is Ben Chilwell. He had an injury. He came back from it. Now he's injured again.
Who?
Ben Chilwell, left back.
Yeah. Okay.
He had an injury before. I think when he joined Chelsea, he came back from it, played a couple of games. Now he's injured again. Is this a concern for Chelsea because they spent a lot of money on him, £50 million?
That definitely will be a concern. But I mean, talking more on that, but before I would like to talk on the previous point that was raised.
Sure.
Unleashing all these four guys in one go. What I would beg to differ over there, and I would suggest that Mason Mount should start, and Ziyech should be eased into the team because Ziyech has not had any sort of first game interactions with any of these players. So there will be lack of match fitness as well. He probably can be introduced after the 60-minute mark in this particular game, and keeping in mind they have a Champions League encounter probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah.
So probably Ziyech should be introduced as a sub, and Mason Mount there was a point that was made by Gareth Southgate during the internationals that why did he pick Mason Mount instead of Jack Grealish? He Southgate made a point saying that what Mason Mount does off the ball, Grealish cannot do that, and that was why he had picked him up. So if you just line up a stack of attackers and there's no one behind to clean up their mess, they might be in trouble. Because I mean, we all know that Chelsea has a porous defense.
Yeah. Do you see Mount as a winger then, or do you see him as a midfielder?
More as a midfielder. More as a
I
midfielder.
mean, you could still start him as a midfielder even if you played the four. You could have a 4-3-3 with Havertz and Mount as your two midfielders, and then probably a defensive midfielder at the back
The
behind those.
only problem with Mount starting is like he has played all the 3 games with England.
Oh yeah, that is true.
He was not rested one game. Like
Ah, well,
Southgate wants
he's
him to
young.
play all games.
He is young. He can play. He knows he's not going to play much once they're up to speed. So maybe get those games while you can. I don't know.
Could
No, but
be.
but it's interesting. But then I was talking about Ben
Yeah.
Chilwell. Mount is someone who played. Ben Chilwell, is it a concern, his injury record?
That definitely will be a concern. That definitely will be a concern. I mean, they have spent about 50-60 million on that player, and he has just started one game.
Yep.
And after starting one game, again he is injured. But the one game that he played, he scored and assisted as well, I guess.
Yeah.
So
That's
that counts a lot. And then
Yeah.
again, getting injured. Let's hope that this injury is not long term, and maybe he probably can shrug it off and be available for the next game week.
Yeah, for sure. They need him.
I don't think Chilwell is a big miss because they can easily because Chilwell they easily have
Marcos Alonso. 2 words.
Marcus Alonso and Reece James as well.
Well, Reece James is right back. So
No, but then he can switch them. He can take
Aspilicueta can be switched onto the other flank.
correct. Yes, he can actually play them because that was the big miss. Everybody because Reece James was high on confidence. He was playing really well before. And then Chilwell came in, had a straight swap. But then this gives Lampard the opportunity to play Aspilicueta on the left and Reece James on the right.
yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. Reece James got sent off as well in the England game, so don't know what state of mind that he is in, but definitely has had a good start. Shashwat, who do you think is going to be the key player for Chelsea in this game?
Yeah, in my opinion, for Chelsea, the key player will be Kai Havertz, Werner. Means their front three. Means because there have been a lot of speculation that they will be doing that, and the pressure is also on them to perform because now the pressure will start because the games will come thick and fast and in the next 3 months. So it will be, and I agree with that. Playing the 4 players in 4 frontline players in a single go, I will also try to rest one of them, and and then and in case because now the games will come fast, so I will rotate this between them. So in my opinion, there and also as Kante is also injured, so Kovacic might be drafted to the squad as a midfielder, means defensive midfielder. So he can also play a big role. Yeah, because Danny Ings is a fine player for Southampton. So he can cause them trouble. And as you can see that Ben Chilwell is also injured. So they could go for Mason Mount. So this, Mason Mount, not Marco Alonso, who is slightly off color. You saw against West Brom, he was not at his best. So
He was sleeping, I guess, after the game. But
yeah. So that area where Southampton can expose Chelsea. So I think these players will be the key for.
But the last game, if you see, the last game Chelsea played against Crystal Palace, their creator was Jorginho.
Yeah, Jorginho. Yeah.
The Jorginho was their main creator. So what I have seen in Chelsea, if they don't play Jorginho, they are really without creativity.
Yeah.
Like the game before, George, because they had to, and the passes that he was giving was like brilliant. Like all like the goals that were scored, by and he had two penalties. So I think the creativity came from Jorginho. I agree with the one that that we'll have definitely Kovacic in, because you have to hold off the midfield, and the game kind of runs through that for Southampton as well. But also the performances that we have seen from Callum Hudson-Odoi for Chelsea. He was kind of the settling factor for Lampard when they were losing some big numbers a couple of game weeks back. He was the one who was got in when they were down to 3-0 to West Brom. So he was brought in to kind of restore some balance. So I think Lampard has some thinking to do. What does he play? Does he play his best aggressive lineup, or does he go very defensive, or balances? How it's going to be very interesting to see the lineup tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's an embarrassment of riches for Chelsea, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Having lots of options is always good. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the combination is like. Well, the key player for me for Chelsea is going to be Kepa, because how he performs will determine exactly how.
I was about to say that.
Yes, it's Kepa. I mean, how he plays and how many goals he concedes or doesn't concede, I think will determine everything for Chelsea. But Southampton are in good form, and I think that will be an exciting matchup as well. They could bring a surprise. And then we'll start with you this time. What's your score prediction for this one?
Score prediction would be, I guess it will be 2-0, I guess.
Oh, you're going the clean
to
sheet.
Chelsea.
Oh, wow. That's a bold prediction. I will say that. That's a bolder prediction than saying that Everton are going to win. You're going with the clean sheet. Knayha, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a draw. It's going to be 2-2.
2-2. Okay.
2-2 draw. I think Ings is going to score. The midfield that Southampton has with Romeo, Ward-Prowse, they know how to hold, and they'll play back. They'll play deep. They won't allow that much movement, and they'll be like, okay, the problem that Chelsea will have is that they will have to then go back to Tammy for aerial duels, and because Vestergaard behind Bednarek, Kyle Walker-Peters, and Bertrand, they just are too good defensively. And Sean Dyche and they just kind of will hold this as long as possible. So they'll hold.
Yeah.
Hazmatul, yes, will hold this as long as possible for them, and they'll work on the counter. Ings is like a poacher, and Kepa is amazing. So we have a good combination.
Sure. Shashwat, your score prediction.
Yeah, I think it will be a 2-2 draw.
Wow.
Because or either 3-2 win for Chelsea. Just manage to win in the last minute moment. It will be a very tight game, and because I think Chelsea, they defensively are a little bit weak, which I have seen, and also there is a Kepa factor which you have said.
Yeah.
So I think it will be a 3-2 Chelsea win or
Yeah.
2-2 draw.
Where are the Chelsea fans when you need them? I'm not sure we've taken that up, but that's interesting. Yeah, I think it will be a 3-1 to Chelsea. I think they will definitely not keep a clean sheet, but I think they might just if they get a couple of goals, and it'll be a
Silva and Christensen are forming quite a partnership now. So that was one of the reasons why I said that Chelsea might keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it really depends on that goal and that defense. And I think,
But then you've had Silva making an amazing error as well.
That was one of them.
well, that was just we'll see. Let's see. Let's all say good things, and that way we can jinx the clubs that we don't want to win. That's how it works. You always say
that's how it works. Yeah, exactly.
But okay, let's talk about another big game. I think probably the biggest game of the weekend, arguably, maybe Manchester City against Arsenal. That is another strange one, because again, you'd probably pick Man City as favorites at any end of the season, but Arsenal are above Manchester City. City haven't won since opening day. Arsenal, I believe, they've lost one game, I believe, against Liverpool, but otherwise they've been pretty good. So it's a very exciting game that is coming up, and we'll talk a lot of buzz about Arsenal. There's a bit of a party going on. I think there's going to be a lot of party puns coming up. But Shashwat, you start. You have to. Who makes way for Thomas Partey? He has to start. Obviously, he's going to start. Who do you think should make way for him in the Arsenal lineup?
Yeah. So according to me, this is because Mikel Arteta starts him or not, because this will be a key thing. Because as you have
He
seen,
has to. Okay.
because just you saw, I just saw his press conference last day.
They said he
So
cried for him. He bought the board to get him.
yeah,
Well, if you're gonna
so
pay a release clause at the last day, then it means he had to do some begging, didn't he? For sure. Yeah. I didn't think Arsenal wanted to do that deal, but but they did it. No, that's good. Well,
yeah,
whatever happens, happens. Yeah.
yeah,
So who would you take out of the team right now?
yeah. If it is a 3-4-3 means lineup means which Arteta has been trying to give. So I will drop out Xhaka from the squad, or El Neni, and play Ceballos, because Danny Ceballos, because as you means he's a lone creative midfielder that is playing for Arsenal at the moment. So that is why, and if it's a 4-3-3 men's lineup, then I will start with Xhaka and Partey both, and the creative midfielder will be Danny Ceballos. So in either
But
case,
do you see Partey as a creator or as a, defensive midfielder? How
He's a
would
box to box player.
correct? He's a box to box,
box,
but then where do
yeah,
you, because they already have box to box players.
yeah, no, at present means Xhaka is a type of he does both means mostly he's known for his long passes, and hence he's just a midfielder, a central midfielder. That's what, he's neither a creative or a
Xhaka is more
defensive.
of a midfield enforcer,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He
I think
is
he's
known to
now
destroy play.
he's
Yeah,
now more of a CDM. He used to be a box to box. I
yeah,
think now
yeah,
he's become
Correct.
more of a
yeah,
CDM. So you start him and
yeah,
then you start Partey. You wouldn't start El Neni. I mean, because Xhaka is the captain, right? If
yeah,
I'm not mistaken, Xhaka is the captain, so you got to start
Xhaka,
him.
yeah,
And you got to start Partey. I think, I think it will be I don't know whether it will be a 4-3-3 or I think he should go with a back three, but I
I
don't.
think they against Sheffield they played a 3-3-4.
Okay.
uh, uh,
Yeah, they had three in the top, three in the middle, and back four. And I think I if I see City is also supposed to make a statement now.
Yep.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
what happened? Like I think on the question of I think who goes out, I think it's a no brainer for El Neni. El
yeah,
Neni has kind of on extended time. I would say he's playing really good. He's done the work of Genduzi. Like they're not missing
yeah,
Genduzi currently because
Yeah.
he's doing exactly what he would do. But they'll have to put him. And I think even Arteta had in the press conference said they got him because he was match fit, and they were expecting him to start kind of right off the shelf, and just kind of put it in. He has not he's not got that much time, but then I think he'll
midfield,
start for the top 60 minutes and then get back in with the known team members, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, that will be the interesting decision. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what formation he chooses for sure. For sure. Then, would you start with? I mean, for City, there's not a lot of issues as such. I mean, Aguero's coming back. We now know that De Bruyne is not going to play. So I think
Yeah.
if we do this on Fridays, because we talk about this on Thursday, we said De Bruyne is going to start, but now we know De Bruyne is not going to start. So
True.
that's a blow. But they should have
That's a
enough
big
cover
blow.
in. I'm sorry.
That's a big blow. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
see, they do have cover, they do have strength in numbers, but honestly, in that particular team, no one can replace KDB
For sure.
because
No.
it's the
Yeah, he needs to
goals,
do
it's
the
the
work.
assists,
Yeah.
it's the overall creativity that he brings.
Yeah, he's a top five
I'm
player.
not very sure, and there has been, I mean, it has happened on such short notice that these guys did not have an opportunity to plan as to what should be done in case if KDB is injured. One good thing is that Aguero is coming back,
yeah,
Yeah.
so that
Lot
is one sort
vital.
of good news for City. But
Yeah.
still, I mean, Aguero will be there up front, but who will provide him with the balls? So that is one concern that City will have to address.
Yeah, and well, I mean, they do have. Yeah, I mean, we'll say, and I've been impressed, low-key impressed with Foden. So maybe this is a chance for him to step up. But the bigger issue, I think, will be left back, because I think a lot of people talk about centre half issues, but it's actually I think left back is a real concern for them right now, because Mendy doesn't look very assured. They have Joao Cancelo, who's a right-footed left back, so it's not he's a right back who can play as a left back, but you wouldn't want him there. And then you've got Nathan Ake, who's actually a centre half. But he played left back. I think against Leeds, they put him against in left back. So who would you start out of the three? And if you were to pick, which of the three would you pick? Would you keep Mendy? Would you bring in Ake? Would you bring in Cancelo?
Uh, I would definitely go ahead with Ake. Nathan Ake might be an option because one problem with Mendy is he can't keep himself fit. So even if he starts, the manager will not be assured that this guy is going to last 90 minutes. He plays for one game and he's out for 4 games. So, and again, match fitness is one concern. So Nathan Ake, proven guy, left-footed guy, or else, I mean, there can be another option. Start with a three-man defense.
Yeah.
Load up your midfield with an extra player, and then go ahead.
Yeah.
The only problem with that, I think that will play right in the hands of Aubameyang because he plays left. He
Right,
will he will be right there.
He's does
he plays
Aubameyang play right wing, Shashwat, or is
no, he's playing left. He's playing left.
So then he'll be coming up against the right back. So then that's not an issue. Right?
Okay, but then they'll have to plan something because they switch again because Arsenal switches players as well. They also kind of make their left to right, and given Mendy's struggling, if Mendy's playing the game, they'll be like, that's our guy.
Yeah.
Just pull up on it, just get Saka behind, just get Aubameyang in front of him and behind him, and he'll be in loads of trouble. But the problem with City where I see is KDB is a big blow. Like they have the reason why everybody's saying that they've not been able to perform is because KDB has blanked. He has not played the level that he's known for in the last 2 games. And then you can simply see the effect. Against the game against Leeds was where I could see how pivotal is KDB to City. Like they were on him. He got so pissed. He was frustrated in that game. And then you could see like everybody's like looking at KDB and he's like, you can't expect every time that I am the one. And
I think where De Bruyne really helps is that the fact that he can cross. Like he's got this ability, talent, I don't know what you want to call it, this voodoo thing that he can cross from anywhere. And then you've got Aguero.
If you saw the outside of the foot passed in the international matches against for Belgium, he gave to Carrasco. I was like,
for sure. It's going to be a big miss. But we touched on this, Knayha. I think the ultimate battle will be, you'd expect Arsenal to park the bus and counter, which is what they did against Liverpool. They'll probably do that again. And the City have issues with that. So I think the key tactic will be will City be able to beat it, particularly now with De Bruyne out. I guess that's going to be more difficult, but that is going to be the key, right? With how they're going to cope with that and how they're going to beat it.
The beauty of Pep is that he is so unpredictable.
Sometimes too much for his own good. Sometimes too unpredictable for his own good.
He's like the simplest of games, he will do something that will just mess the whole thing up. And the most difficult of games, he'll come out with a solution when everyone will be like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So, I would really want to see a Pep masterclass against Arsenal. And because it's a game of lackluster turtlenecks, because we have Arteta learning as from Pep as well. So it'll be like meeting of minds in that sense.
Yeah, I think Arteta has rubbed off fashion senses on Arteta. Pep has fashion senses rubbed off on Arteta. It's not good. But I know we're running short on time, so we'll quickly move on to this. Shashwat, who do you think is going to be the key player for Arsenal?
Key player for Arsenal will be, I think, it will be Nicolas Pepe because, I will start him for this game because, as you have seen that means City's left side means that is Mendy, and Mendy is having a little bit of trouble coping, as you saw it against means in the FA Cup semi-final. So no doubt it will be the midfield. Our midfield will have to be at our best, and in my opinion, I think the City will have lots of position and also Leno, because Leno's distribution will be key for this game, because as you saw, his distribution against Liverpool was not up to the mark. In some of the positions, he was this if means it was just like a suicide, means the way he was distributing the ball, means and that is what I fear will be little bit. So I think these players will be the key for Arsenal, and not to mention our Lacazette and Aubameyang, both has to start and both has to be at the very best in this game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that will be with those what how Arsenal play. I think will be very much important to this game. And then who's going to be the key player for City? You think?
Key player for City or Arsenal? I mean,
City, for City.
for
We're not going to
City,
spend that much time on Arsenal. No.
it has to be Sterling.
Sterling. Oh, okay.
It has to be Sterling because see, Aguero does not have match practice. They have KDB missing. So the goal scoring mantle has to be shared by someone, and probably Sterling has to play a very key role if City hope of getting a result out of this game.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. What is the over under on Sterling now missing a tap in? Now that Nayan has put that there. What is the over under on Sterling missing a tap in? I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. You might have jinxed him there, Sterling.
But it's fine. But it's fine. He'll get a penalty right after that. So he'll make. He'll fall off. He'll fall on him, trip on himself, and he'll get a penalty.
And well, do not break Shashwat's heart like that. But Knayha, we'll start with you this time because you second both times last time. Your score prediction for this one?
I think it's going to be both are going to be cagey. This game is going to be really cagey. Both will be happy. Like City will be happy, more than happy with a draw. They'll be like, if we get 1 point out of this game, we'll be
They are
more
the
than
home team though.
But then there's no home support. There is no home.
But they're used to that. They're used to that.
But then,
Okay.
but I would still say that it's going to be really hard.
Okay.
KDB
City playing for a
lackluster.
point, Adarsh or Aditya would have killed him right now.
I don't know. Well, Adarsh, yes. So Adarsh is used to it. He knows me joking all the time. Aditya, I don't know whether I don't know if he's still a fan. But anyway.
I think they'll both be cagey. Arsenal will look on the counter side. I think it'll be a draw eventually. Maybe a late penalty to just kind of tip it over one side or the other. Penalty it could. But I think I want to be sympathetic to City. I think they'll win it 2-1.
2-1. Oh, okay. Shashwat.
Yeah, this is a type of game which because we at Etihad we have not done well in the last few years. Means say from 2012, 11-12 season only we have not done that well. So and there is one factor that KDB is missing, but I will go for 2-1 City win because reason I think we will be rusty.
Oh, wow. I never thought I would hear this from an Arsenal fan.
Yes.
Never.
No, he doesn't want to jinx his team. So City will win, like, we actually win and they won. I know. You see that.
If we win,
He will win 2-1. Okay, Nan, what is your prediction?
1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Yeah. I think it'll be 1-0 to City. I think it'll be like Knayha said, it'll be KG, but I think City might just grab a goal and then just hold on. I think 1-0. 1-0 to City is my prediction. I see City winning. All right, okay. Well, that's great. As good as that is, we're now getting into last 2 games left. And we're going to, one of these will be quick. The other one might take a bit of time. But Newcastle against Manchester United. Saturday, it's last game on Saturday. And take your pick where you want to start. There's so many things to start with. So many issues. But Nan, let's start with you. Let's talk about the lineup. And I say starting lineup. And normally you talk about, we talk about Chelsea, but how they have all these great players that can come in and go out. And with United, it's a case of all these bad players that shouldn't be playing. So who do you take? It's like with Chelsea, who do you bring in? With United, is who do you take out? Because there's so many to take out. But starting lineup, let's talk about that. And there's 3 players, I guess, who were criticized. There's Van Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Paul Pogba in the last game. And now we've got Alex Telles, who's supposed to come in. Pellistri probably will not start. Traore won't come until January. Cavani and Pellistri and Cavani cannot start because of isolation, so they're not going to start. And Martial is suspended.
Pelletri can start, but probably he will not start.
No.
Cavani cannot start at all.
Yeah, Cavani cannot start. Yeah. Oh, I was not sure about Pelestri. I thought they were both under isolation. But yeah, that's true.
No,
Pelestri can
Cavani had
start
come
because
from
he
Paris,
was in the
so
bubble.
there were some different restrictions for
Yeah, because
Uruguay and
Pelestri
for
was in the bubble.
France.
He was in the bubble in Uruguay, whereas Cavani was not because he didn't know he was going to be United and everything.
Yeah.
Like everyone else.
Cavani was looking for a new home. That's it. He was like, want me to go.
Yeah. So with all of these permutations, combinations, what is your starting lineup going to be, Nan?
Tomorrow I'll be taking a brave decision. Henderson has to start tomorrow.
Dean Henderson. Oh yes, that's right. They asked Alisson. Crap. Okay, then Dean Henderson should start. Okay. Well, yeah, all right.
Apart from Henderson, Telles has to start because I was just going through his stats today and I saw that in the last season he has scored 11 goals and all those 11 goals have come from his left foot.
Yeah.
So right now Rashford is playing on the left flank. He cuts in and he scores with his right foot. He's not a left-footed player.
Yeah.
So if we get those overlapping runs with Rashford or maybe someone else, since Rashford might be playing as a lone striker tomorrow, so we can have a different dimension on the left flank.
Yeah.
So, or if we start Greenwood on the left, then probably it might be a different thing, which I don't see happening. Greenwood would start on the right flank and left flank, maybe Daniel James or Van Mata might start ahead. So Alex Telles will definitely bring a new dimension and he will even offer attacking width in the final third.
You'd go with the back four or would you go with the back five?
Yeah, back four.
Okay. Okay,
Back
so you
four
bring Alex
and
Telles. Would you keep Maguire or would you take him out?
Maguire should be dropped. I mean, not because of all the errors that he has done. I mean, give that guy a break. He has played continuously the entire season.
So
and then what has happened in Greece?
Yeah, Ole has said that he has a knock from the England game. I don't know, 30 minutes he played. He probably got a knock when he got that red card. He got a knock. That's what's happened.
So, I mean,
so he might not start.
I mean, it would be ideal from the player's point of view as well to give him a break because next week we have PSG.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for all the mistakes that Maguire has done, he is still a good defender. So, giving him a break, taking him off the spotlight might help him out. So, Bai and Lindelof should start at the center of defense.
Okay.
Then at the right, we have sorted. I mean, Van Bissaka will be a definite starter.
Okay.
In the midfield, it has to be a two-man pivot, and I'm not very sure. I mean, Pogba will definitely start. Should it be Donny van de Beek or should it be Matic? Will be a concern.
Okay.
Because Van de Beek, for all he has been giving good performances, and in the Premier League he has played for a combined of 47 or 50 minutes, and he has already scored a goal in that.
Yeah.
So he definitely needs to start. Probably, he's a versatile player, so he can even start on the left flank, and then probably we can switch over.
Yeah.
Switch him with Bruno Fernandes.
Okay.
So that might happen.
Well, that's Nayan.
And the others are automatic starters.
Yeah, for sure. Knayha, would you agree or do you want to, what do you think?
I just feel that I want to see how Newcastle line up because Newcastle have played 4-4-2.
Andy Carroll will start. That's almost what there is talk that he will start. And because of that, I agree with Dean Henderson starting because neither Maguire nor Lindelof or even Bailly for that matter are good in the air. So you need a person who's going to come and catch the ball because they will not do that. He will not come out of his line. So you need.
He will shout out. He'll shout at his defenders to clear the ball, but not come out himself.
Yes. So
David De Gea has had some nightmarish performances. Nightmarish moments when it's Andy Carroll up front. Earlier when he used to play for West Ham, now when he's playing for Newcastle as well. Because that guy is not more of a forward, he's more of a bruiser. Yeah. So he'll come in with his punches, he'll come in with his elbows.
Yeah, he'll get on your face and he'll be like, now catch the ball.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I know one time. So Knayha, what's your pick for starting line?
Yes, so I think for United, Martial is not playing, so we'll have Rashford in front. Bruno as false 9, Greenwood on right. I think we'll have a 3-man midfield. Because I want somebody to mark Saint Maximin. He's going to be quick. He's going to be like rapid.
Yep, that's
Uh,
yeah.
I want somebody to kind of fall back with him, maybe Teles, but then you miss Teles's advantage that he goes up front, but then he leaves a lot of space behind. So I think Saint Maximin will be the one to track. I don't know Pogba would want to do that job, but Matic would love to kind of man mark that person, like literally man mark. And I think that gives them with Pogba there and Matic. I think and possibly we might even say McTominay. He is good in transition play. He's really puts his body on the line, and he falls back as well. We have seen Matic little slow on when the game starts, or during transition. It just takes him a couple of seconds to kind of gather himself, and then he makes his move. But McTominay is much quicker than that. He'll be perfect. So I would want to see McTominay possibly starting, and then Van Bissaka, Bailly is there, Lindelof starting, and let's give Maguire a break. Tell him, like, let's get you know you've had an amazing year, and then after even your break, so give him actually a break and say that just think about Paris and how we play there, and
Go on vacation, but not to Greece.
let's not talk about vacation. I think that's the reason I didn't say vacation. He has bad memories of it, so he will possibly never go to Greece ever again. uh, and then Teller starting. And
So he
Teller
would go with the
starting with
back.
Henderson.
Yeah, I just feel like he's going to go with the back five tomorrow. I just feel that because there's no right winger, I think it would be back five. If this was FIFA, I would play a 3-5-1-1. My back three would be Lindelof in the middle, Shaw on the left, Van Bissaka on the right. That would be my back three. And Daniel James as the right wing back, and I would have Alex Telles as the left wing back. I do feel Daniel James could be a good left back. He's a good wing back. He's never going to make a good winger. That's quite obvious now. So he might make a good wing back maybe. And then your three would obviously be Pogba, McTominay, and Van de Beek, and then you'd have Bruno as a centre forward and Rashford as a striker. That will not happen. I do not think that will happen. What will probably be is a 5-3-2 or 3-4-1-2, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think Greenwood and Rashford will be the two split strikers, and then you have Bruno as the number 10. I would like to see McTominay and Van de Beek as the midfield too, because they may not be as.
McTominay, I doubt, because he has played 3 games for Scotland on a trot. Yeah. So I'm not very sure how match fit would he be.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be match fit. Whether he'll be fit enough to start, I do not know. But that's I mean, I would like to see him because I feel him and Van de Beek. I just feel that Pogba and Matic don't complement each other as much, and Pogba and McTominay don't complement, and Pogba and Van de Beek obviously cannot work. So maybe McTominay could be Fred and Van de Beek could start as well.
The problem for the starting lineup, for if you think of from the Newcastle's point of view, they know they will play deep. They will not play a high line, but it might play a high line just to push them in their own half and just push them more deep. And then, take a lot of shots outside the box. And if I think about outside the box shooters, you have to have Pogba then. And then, Van de Beek is a more, a little inside the box player.
Yeah.
We've seen him kind of scoring outside the box as well. So I would, and if Newcastle plays deep, United will have to, think of counter-attacking. Like Wilson is on fire. Wilson is scoring goals for fun right now. And he's playing so good with Maximin as well, because Maximin gives him the width, and he's right in the center, poaching for goals. So it's going to be tricky. The game is going to be tricky right in the midfield. Like who plays at which position for how much time as well. Like during the transition plays, how long does Pogba stay deep? And does
I don't think Pogba should start. I think he's had a bad 3-4 games. He shouldn't start, but I don't know if he will. So, but anyway, I think Shashwat is just watching us all bicker about going and I have nothing else to say. But I think I'll bring this to you. I think you will talk about. I think you're talking about starting lineups. I think it is in a way a reflection of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, because he's got some big decisions to make now with regards to the team. There's lots of calls to drop Maguire. There's lots of calls to drop Pogba. And I think how he approaches the situation now would probably be important for him, because he's also got the PSG game coming up, which is another big game. This is probably the easier one of the two, even though it's not. But this is probably the easier one. So where do you see where do you see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer standing now between for this whole week? Because you got Newcastle, then PSG, then Chelsea. What exactly? It's crunch time now for him, isn't it? In terms of if he doesn't perform well, I think he's going to be sacked.
Yeah, that's the key, because these 3 games, which means the this Newcastle game and next PSG, and this is a tough week for you, Ole. And especially when you are coming from a very huge defeat, that is 6-1 against Spurs, and there was a lot of criticism from pundits. I agree that players were equally, means they were totally off color that day. They had a very bad day against Spurs. But one thing I want to say that these things happen because Spurs were on that day far better side, and uh, and this Spurs team do any can cause upset to any team. So I think this should be a fresh start for Ole. He should he has to now zeal up with his players, and he has made some signings. So I think he he will get a result against Newcastle. Against PSG, I think it will be if it's a draw, it will be a better thing for him, and then he can go and prepare against Chelsea because that will be because last season you saw that Chelsea were defeated twice by United, I think thrice, and they can't beat them definitely.
That
So
was a different
I think,
scenario.
yeah,
But I mean,
uh,
yeah, but I mean, I understand. Yeah, I mean, I don't
uh,
think whatever happens this weekend, I don't think he will be sacked.
uh,
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think depending on what happens on Saturday and then what happens on Tuesday or Wednesday with PSG,
yeah.
after that, I think from next week we might be able to have to do a sack watch episode. Like when is he going to be sacked? I don't know. I
No,
feel
no,
like
no.
I think this season is going to be tricky to sack managers. This season is the most trickiest to sack managers because you have this whole situation where
Yeah.
if like let's say Ola right now is he would simply say I've not signed any. You've not allowed me to sign anyone. You told me you signed Sanchez. Where is he?
Sancho. Well, that I mean, it's fine, but I mean, Ed doesn't work on logic, so I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
but
way it
yeah,
works. I mean, the fact that we're even talking about sacking Ole is a win for the board because they messed it up. But anyway,
yeah.
we just will go with the situation. But Nan, who's the key player for you? Going to be the key player for Manchester United tomorrow?
Key player will definitely be Bruno.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, see, one big thing about Bruno this season has been he has not scored a single outfield goal till date. I mean, the two goals that he has scored, both of them have been penalties. So it's high time that he starts scoring now.
Well, he's getting assists though, but I understand what you mean. Yes,
Yeah.
he could start getting open play goals, but hey, how that works. Knayha, who do you think is going to be key player for Manchester United?
I think in my view it's going to be whoever is in goal. Because I think it just gives, like, I would want Dean Henderson to start because his passing ability is really like the long balls. He because I think Newcastle will play man mark everybody in the midfield and then up front. But those balls, the long balls that he passes through, will allow some freedom for anybody to move around because we have runners like Greenwood would run, Rashford would run, Bruno would run. So, how he distributes them would actually be key because I think they'll kind of try to create Newcastle will kind of create the pack in the midfield. They won't allow, Bruno much freedom, and Newcastle play rough. It's not, they don't play nice football. They actually go in hard.
Ideally for this game, I mean, and if Henderson starts, a player like Fellaini would have been very useful.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
That's why I think Tomina should start. McTominay at least has that flair, has that aggression.
he will. I think he's naturally fit. I think if he's fit
Yeah.
enough, he's not injured, he should start. I don't think match fatigue will be an issue for him because he's been playing centre half anyway. So you don't do a lot of running. For Scotland, he plays centre half, so you don't do a lot of running from that position. But that being said, we shall see how it goes. Maybe Fred will start. I think that might be another one. Shashwat, your score prediction for this game? What do you think?
I think it will be a Newcastle, no, United 3-1 win or 2-1.
Wow, nice! You saved. You were saved.
Wait,
You had
3-1 to Newcastle.
supporters
Did you
going
say 3-1
crazy.
to Newcastle, or did you say 3-1 to United?
No, United win 2-1 because
Okay, Manchester United, right?
yeah, Bruno and Rashford.
Where are we gonna get 3 goals on Sunday? Okay, who's gonna score 3 goals? That's
Wow.
okay. But anyway, I respect that. And then, what do you think is gonna be the score?
1-1 draw.
An all draw. Okay. Knayha?
We'll have a 1-0 win. United will just scrape through. It'll be very hard to. We will see everybody tired after because everybody's played an international in United. and there has been no breaks for anybody. Everybody will
Oh,
be coming
Greenwood
from.
didn't play. Yeah, because he was
Yeah,
doing things. He was busy with some other stuff before that.
but then Newcastle has that advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see United winning this game. I think it will be a loss. I think it will be an embarrassing defeat, or there will be a draw. It's most likely it will, yeah, it'll be one of those two things. It'll be a loss or a draw. Maybe if United are lucky, they might scrape a goal and get through. But I can't see it. I can't see United winning. I think it'll be a loss. Manchester
No
Newcastle.
one has spoken about getting a penalty.
Well, that's what I say. So scrape means that they'll probably get a penalty.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm just
Yeah,
hoping
that's
for the
probably
last.
the only way. But
The
again,
whistle
being a
blows
penalty,
and the 96th minute we get a penalty after VAR after the match is ended and Morphe is smiling and
well,
jolly.
the underrated aspect is that Martial wins a lot of penalties and he's not playing. So I don't know. Maybe Rashford might have to get one.
Yes,
But
so we'll have Bruno as well. Bruno will get a penalty himself and then score it.
yeah, maybe. But I feel like referees have now gotten on a little bit on him. Like they don't give him a lot of fouls. I've noticed that they refuse to pull. He's kind of got that reputation now.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we'll see. But yeah, that's prediction for that. We've got one more game to talk about, and quite frankly, I really don't want to talk about it. But Spurs versus West Ham. Yeah, Spurs. And but anyway, we've got to be professional, so we've got to talk about it. Shashwat, we'll talk about Spurs. There's not a lot to talk about Spurs. They're probably flying high, really doing well. I don't think Bale is back yet, so we can't talk about Bale. But one player that I think we can talk about is Tanguy Ndombele. Had a horrible season last time around. I think probably worse. But now suddenly he seems to be coming back into his own. He got a goal in the last game, which was gifted to him, but whatever. But he seems to now be that midfield enforcer that I think Spurs thought they were getting. He's looking good now, isn't he?
Yeah, and Dumbele had a very rough season last time, and he also had a little bit of fallout with Jose. But this season, I think there is a lot of improvement from him, as he had got his goal against United. On also the way he's controlling the midfield uh, from the start of the season has been commendable. Means he's doing a fine job. So I think he's this he is and he's also winning the trust of Jose, because if Jose loses a trust on someone, then it is very hard to bring in. As you will see in case of Dele Alli, safeties. So he's normally benched now, and means other Poch used to start him Dele Alli. So I think he's training very hard in Dombele, and he's been doing a good job. So I think that is why he's been giving starts in these matches.
Yeah.
And once again, he will be the key for Spurs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, sorry, can I?
I think Ndombele, he basically plays because if you see the Tottenham midfield currently, I think the two people who are doing the most of the work are Højbjerg and Lo Celso. Lo Celso is not fit for this game. They Spurs are without Lo Celso and Tanganga. But if you see Højbjerg, how he holds everybody in right under the defense and allows Ndombele, Lo Celso, Son, Lucas Moura, and Kane to just do their thing.
Yeah.
He basically tells them, you don't have to worry about the back. They're really solid in the defense. Sanchez, Dyer, Davies, Doherty, and now they have Reguilon as well. The new, he's amazing. I think, I really think Ndombele is now really fitting in to what he was used to play in France. He basically now feels much more at home, where he's allowed to be creative. Like last season, because of the injuries that Spurs had, he was forced to play as a CDM. He was not. I could hear Jose shouting, "Don't go, don't go up front, stay back. I have nobody to run back. Who will run back?" So and now he suddenly feels that with the signings they made with Højbjerg, I think that's the key signing, which holds and allows the top 5 players to just kind of go out. Like, okay, we have a plan. Son is amazing. Ndombele has been playing so well with Son. If you see the passes, and Ndombele are only providing to Son because he's running. He's like, you give me the ball, give me a yard or two to run, and I'll show you. You just give the ball, I'll be there.
Yeah. No,
I think he's grown
yeah.
in confidence. He's grown in confidence, and I think what Shashwat said, that was correct. Like, he is gaining the trust of Jose slowly. He sees a really nice player in him, because in the documentary as well, All or Nothing. He tells that he likes him. It's just that he'll just take some time to get used to it. And when he got used to it, when he saw the signings that Spurs were making, that they had a vision, and they had the capacity to kind of build a squad. They're really good on paper, and Dombele with that is now really kind of gelling up with everybody. So I think he has to be somebody I would really want to see how he progresses. And he has, the best part, he's started scoring goals as well. Like, he's already scored goals. That gives him confidence. Like, he can go up front, score goals, and I would really interesting to see how this season goes for him.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, well, his competition is only Harry Winks, so he's got that sorted. But I think definitely something that's interesting, because he was my flop of the season last year, but I think he's really turned it around. Nayan, what's the chance that Spurs will concede a penalty in this game? They seem to be conceding one every game. It doesn't seem to affect them, but no, I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that one.
No, I'm not very sure that they will concede a penalty against a team such as West Ham.
Yeah.
I mean, West Ham conceding a penalty, probably the chances are higher than Spurs conceding a penalty against West Ham.
Sure, yeah. Oh, no, yeah, West Ham. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs with West Ham. They beat Leicester 3-0, but somehow they don't seem, they seem very inconsistent. But we'll see what happens. But Nayan, who do you think is going to be the key player, though, for Spurs?
Son for me.
Yeah, I think he's in form. He's going to be really important. Knayha, what's the score prediction? We're not going to spend too much time on Spurs. I'm so upset. But what's the score prediction for you? What do you think is going to be the score?
I think it's going to be 3-0. Tottenham will kind of they'll like stomp their authority. Son will show again that why he is kind of scoring the goals that he is. I think it might even be a hat trick, because they all just seem to be feeding him. Because if you see the games, Kane is dropping back to assist Son.
Yeah.
And Kane is striker.
Yeah.
I'm like, if the striker,
for sure.
If the striker is like testing, he's going to go back.
Yeah.
So if he's trusting Son so much,
Kane wants to compete with Firmino now.
Yeah, I guess that's what he's doing. Yeah, I know. Not that hard.
And the best part is, I think he's saying that at least Kane is on penalties, so he's like, even if Son goes and he falls, I'm going to get the ball to score the penalty. So no concerns.
That's what do you think is going to be the score?
Yeah, I think Tottenham are definitely favorites for this game, and I agree with Knayha that this should be an easy win for Spurs. I will go with also 3-0 because Spurs are just too strong for West Ham.
Sure, yeah. Nayan?
2-0, but there might be a slight possibility of an upset, because at the end of the day they are Spurs. So
yeah, but this is Jose's Spurs. This is Jose. I mean, is this Jose's second season? Do we call it his second season or his first season? If we call it his
1.5 season.
If this is his second season, then this will be his best season based on his recent trial. So
I think we should mark his season based on his documentary, like before the documentary and after the documentary.
Yeah, well, so for sure, no, because the next season is when it goes bad. This is the great season. Yeah. Everything is all hunky-dory. Perfect. So anyway, but I think it'll be a Spurs win. I think 3-0. I think sounds about right. 3-0, 2-0. Yeah, I mean, depends on how many they want to get once they're comfortable.
No, because you really don't know about. You also don't know about West Ham. Like, Antonio could run down the middle like crazy, like on the flank, and then because they will play 5-man defense. That's very clear. West Ham will not be kind of, okay, we're going to fight them, and no, they're going to play a 5-man defense.
Yeah.
Have a 4-man midfield, and they'll have Antonio on top. And, we'll have Reguilon behind, like, we'll have a 6-man Tottenham team right in their half, like on between their mids and defense. But then I think it should be easy, but then this Premier League
you just never know what's going to happen. But I think that's no way of making educated guesses, right? But I just feel that Spurs have a bit, like, because they have got those Kane, the way that he plays with that withdrawn role, and they've got Reguilon who can do the crossing stuff. So they've got variety that even if one thing doesn't work, it might work. So based on that, I think, and it's David Moyes. So, on the other side. So, I don't know which one I hate more. But yeah, so I think it's fair to say that Spurs will probably win. But hey, and we make predictions all the time and then they come wrong. That's the beauty of football. But that's great. Thank you so much, guys. I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've gone a little bit over time, but it's really amazing. Awesome to have you guys on the show to analyze that. We normally don't have so many big matches in one weekend, so this is like a treat for all of us. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Knayha, Shashwat, Nayan. Really glad to have you. And
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you.
The pleasure is all ours.
yes, enjoy
Looking
the game.
forward to the game week now. Yeah.
Yes, I will keep a track of all your operations. We're going to be back tomorrow with the match reaction episode because we're going to talk about the big four games that we spoke about, the first four games. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So we'll be back with a reaction show very quickly. But I'll keep a track of your predictions and we'll see how many we got right and how many we got wrong. So we'll keep that. I'm hoping a few are wrong, but we'll see. Just personal reasons, but we'll see how that goes. But thanks so much. Please remember to like the video if you enjoyed this discussion. If you enjoyed the debate, please let us know in the comment section as well. What do you think? What your score predictions are going to be? Who do you think is going to be the key players for the game? And also remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you haven't done that, just hit 100 subscribers. So let's now get to 110. We're still going to keep modest goals. So help us get there. So please remember to subscribe. Let's see if we can get there. And we'll be back again soon. Have a good night. Take care. And we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to that episode of Late Night Football. We need your help to grow this channel, so if you've been enjoying the show thus far, please do like and subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, drinking buddies, fellow football fans, and anybody else you know or don't know. We'd really appreciate it. Please also follow us on Twitter and Facebook via the links in the description below and spread the word about us. Take care.